Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing out there? Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back to Jeep and Things. Here's what we've got going on today. For those of you that may not have seen the channel, I've got a 2024 Jeep Wrangler 2-door Sport with a 2.0 in it. Got it August 3rd, so I've had it right at 6 weeks. So I've done a few reviews on my thoughts of the Jeep. You can go back and watch those if you haven't already. But today what we're doing is I have the pleasure of going to Grandparents' Day out of state. It takes me a couple hours, about 2.5 hours to get there. I think it's 110 miles one way. So what we're going to be doing today is checking the MPGs on this, on the Jeep. So this is the course that I use because we've got kids and grandkids. Like I said, it's about 2 hours, 15 minutes away. It's all flat driving. We're fixing to come up a hill, but that's about the only hill. It's flat driving. I'm currently going 68. I'm on a 4-lane highway where the speed limit's 65, so we're doing 68. So this is a stretch that's about 4 or 5 miles long. After this, it's 60 miles an hour. Got 2 or 3 little towns we go through, but it's basically 60 miles an hour, flat land. This is the course that I use on all my other previous vehicles to see just how well of fuel mileage they'll get. So this is the tester right here. I've got about 2,700 miles. I checked it earlier. So the Jeep's broke in. The gas mileage is getting better. On some of these newer vehicles, it may take 5,000 miles.
In 2 miles, take the exit onto Route 25 toward Dexter.
So it's telling me where to go here. Don't really need my GPS right now, but to get to the actual school that I'm going to. But anyhow, it's flat driving. I've got, the gas mileage is going up. Some of these new vehicles take 5,000 miles to get totally broke in. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to see what it says we're getting, and I'll get back with you guys once we start to get into town to see how well the gas mileage is getting. Then after I'm in town all day, do a little city driving, and once we're leaving, we'll see how that affected it. And then I'll stop and we'll check it out and see how the computer compares to hard numbers, because I'll stop and get some fuel before we leave, once we drive it around today. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a second. Just a side note here, the old screen, if you watched my last video, one of the things was it's still a Jeep. How the screen freezes up, I turned it on, it was stuck on Sirius XM preview channel.
Continue straight. Then use the right lane to take the exit onto Route 25 toward Dexter.
Then you get 3 months free subscription, plus I've already subscribed to it. So after that 3 months is up, I've got a couple years coming. So, and this is the second time this has happened. It was froze there. It was froze
the right lane to take the exit.
It was froze on the preview channel screen. Couldn't change it. Now it just popped up because I had an alert for a song that I had saved, and it kind of kicked it out of sleep. So there's that. But that's a whole nother review. We'll see everyone here in a little bit once we get on down the road to see what we're getting on gas mileage. And I did fill the tank up yesterday, reset the trip set, so everything should be good to go. Kind of curious to see what we'll get. We'll see you all here in a little bit. Hey everyone, checking back in here real quick. Man, it is a beautiful, beautiful morning. And we got a little shower yesterday. And it was just a short-lived shower. Hadn't had rain before that, and it's going to be a while, about another week. It's supposed to be sunny. The temperature outside, if we can zoom in on that, nice and cool, low humidity. Here's the thing, just going down the road. I'm going to shut up here for a second. Going to do a couple things while we're driving here. I'm going to be quiet for a minute so you can hear the road noise, the outside noise of the vehicle. To me, it rides pretty quiet. You know, it's still a Jeep. The steering is fairly responsive. It's about like all the other Jeeps I've had. Just I don't think I've driven the Jeep to video while we've been going down the road. But I want to shut up and let you listen to the quietness of it, if you will. All right, there we go. There is no wind out this morning. It's perfectly calm. Obviously, there's a little road noise, but to me, it's more than acceptable. Second thing before we check out here for a minute, and as you can see, we're doing 60 mile an hour. This will be our cruising speed for a while. Excuse me, we've been on the road about 30 minutes. Here's the thing. As I stated earlier in the little introduction, the old Sirius XM, the Radiolino, is froze up. Now, it'll let you turn it up, but you ain't changing no channels on it. It is locked up. Here in a little bit, I'll take me a little break after I've been on the road about an hour, hour and a half. Turn the Jeep off. It should kick in. You know, like I said on the last review, still a Jeep. This is my third JL, and it just so happens this morning that it is froze up. And like I said earlier, it was stuck on the preview channel, the Sirius XM preview channel, and then, you know, you can see the little blue bell there, your little notification icon. You know, if there's a song comes on you really like it, you can save it, then it'll remind you. Well, I've had a couple pop up saying, you know, hey, do you want to listen to this? And I push it and it'll go to that channel. You'll hear that song, and then it happened again. I couldn't change the channels, and then another song that I had saved came up and it let me switch to that channel. So yeah, it's froze up. So I'm going to keep it on down the road. The wireless Apple CarPlay, the maps, working excellent. Thank goodness that's not froze up. That's working fine right there. It's notifying me when I need to turn, etc. It's just so Bluetooth from the phone to that, it isn't affected. So while you're using your maps are still functional because it's Bluetoothing off my phone. So yeah, we'll see if that unfreezes here as we go down the road. And I got a feeling it's going to stay locked up until I stop, turn off the vehicle, get out. It'll reset and it'll be fine, just like all the other ones. If it doesn't, I will let you guys know. So going through a small town here, there's going to be a few small towns we go through to where you'll reduce your speed, all that good jazz. We'll be on this little 45 mile an hour reduced speed for about 2 miles. Then we'll pick back up to 60. So we'll check back in with you here in a little bit. And once I turn the Jeep off, we'll let you know how that's doing. See y'all here in a bit. All right, we are back. So we have been on the road for 115 miles. Zoom in on that a little bit there for you. Shows we're getting 26.9. If that's halfway correct, I'm very impressed. Now that's on this tank. Filled it up. Let's go back. Okay, this is for current. That says 29 MPG. That's what we're currently averaging. 24.1. I'm 98% sure that's for the life of the vehicle. Let's go down through here, see how many miles we got on. Turn off the cruise for a second. We got 25.76. Put the cruise back on. Get her back up to 60. So that's what we're currently going at. Go back to this trip. Okay, so we're at 116, 26.9 on this tank. So I'm doing this now because we're fixing to get into the city. I'll be driving around town all day long, going from here to there. So once we leave town, we'll see how that's affected by driving in town. So being on the road for 116, almost 117 miles, we've been averaging 26.9. So we'll get back with you when we're leaving town to see how well we've done. And oh yeah, that still froze up, just for what it's worth. But I haven't turned the vehicle off. I haven't stopped. We've been straight driving now for about, 6:30, 7:30, 8, about 2 hours, 15 minutes we've been driving straight. So we'll get you back with you here in a minute, see how the MPG's do in town. See y'all in a bit. All right, everybody. It is getting on up in the afternoon. Now I'm heading back, but let's see where we are. Gas is actually pretty cheap over there. So if I can squeeze in over there, we're going to fill up and see how it lines up. But anyhow, zoom in on that a little. Trip info. Trip A, trip B. So trip B, we went down to 24 miles a gallon. So we were getting 26.9. I can't remember earlier in the video when I made that clip. We were at about 116 miles, I believe, once we got into town. And we've been all over town. So 16, 26, 36, 46, so about 36 miles, which will bring it, of that 152 is city driving. So we've averaged out at about 24. So I'm going to shoot over here, fill the Jeep up, and see how close we are to 24. But on the open road, it got excellent, as you guys saw. So now that we're in town, I'm still not going to fuss about 24, because once I fill this up, we getting back on the road and going to shoot her home, get that mileage back up. But let's go see how it compares to what this says. All right, see you in a second. All right, I filled it up, as you can see. It's saying 23.9 because I've been sitting here idling a second, but I did the math work, took the gallons down to the tenths, of course, and my figures came up to 21.923. So if that is correct, which that's the hard number, so 21.9, let's just say 23.9. So at this point, it's showing a couple miles less than what that shows. But if it's going to get 22 after riding around town, 21.9 to be precise, I'll take that. So there we have it, folks. Y'all have a good evening. I'm going to head her on back north, get back home. Y'all have a good one.